All right, welcome back to the fifth and final week of the Verb Goal Setting Challenge. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This is a kind of a pain in the ass to get through, but man, is it worth it? If you haven't done this, now is a great time to watch this video, kind of get up to speed and do this. It is not too late. We're at still the beginning of the year, plenty of time to make this happen. So over the course of this month, we've put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to really just set the conditions for a successful, productive, happy year that gets you, on New Year's Eve 2022, you can look back and feel like you have accomplished the things that you need to do and you took steps affirmatively forward. So at the end of the day, we've taken logical, thoughtful, proven steps really to hash out where we are and where we're going. And so we started with pre-work in week one, and essentially we just plan to plan. Anybody who has any sort of time with strategic planning or even tactical planning under their belt knows step zero is get your act together. Get the tools, get the things that you need to effectively plan and press forward. So that's what we did for week one. We moved right into our after action report, our AAR of 2021. Uh, at the end of the day, you got to learn from experience. And the only way to really do that in a thoughtful way is to sit down and take the time to make it happen. Look back at what worked, what didn't work, what were the routines, what were the events, how did you spend your time, who did you spend your time with, et cetera, et cetera. And look back and really we hashed out what was working for us and what didn't, what we want to pull forward into 2022 and what we want to leave behind. Um, Super important work, and we took a week to do that. We moved on to our commander's intent and our desired end state. Again, anybody with any sort of military planning experience knows that commander's intent and desired end state are 100% absolutely foundational bedrock components to any plan. And so intention, I know that intention sounds a little squishy and fuzzy, but again, this is what folks are doing in military planning from top to bottom, from the Pentagon down to the tactical unit. This is what folks are doing, and there's good reason for it. Commander's intent sets the intention, if you will, for the year in our case, and the desired end state allows us to define ahead of time. Hey, what does the perfect year look like? December 31st, 2022. What is the end state? What does the year look like looking backwards? So that gives us really a target to hit moving forward in our planning. So we did that in week three, and then we moved on to building our action plan. So at the end of the day, talking about it is good, thinking about it is good, being thoughtful is great, but it doesn't matter what you think or say or plan, it's what you do. So we sat down and meticulously built out a plan for the year. And so we took goals, we built goals, we attached timelines to those. Those goals were time bound, they were quantifiable, and smart. And so at the end of the day, we sat down and we built a plan, and you should have that on paper. If you wrote this out on your iPhone or whatever it is, that's okay. But the by and large the science supports sitting down to write this stuff out. If you don't have a journal, if you don't have a planner, go out and freaking buy one. If you can watch this video, you can definitely get that done. And now the only thing left for us to do is to execute. So there are systems that we can put in place to make this happen. The last thing we want to do is go through all this work and then look back and see, a fancy journal that just is full of great plans and we didn't do any of it. So at the end of the day, systems are what is going to help us get this done. So let's build some systems. Here's what we recommend going forward. So every month at the beginning of the month, write out your game plan for the month, goals for the month. And what you should be doing is looking back at your annual game plan, the goals that I need to get done, the timeline, et cetera, and mapping those out onto to the month. So this month coming up, February, I'm going to look at my annual plans, and I'm going to say, hey, what can I get done? What do I need to get done this month to stay on timeline to make sure that I'm executing and doing the things I said I would do? So every month, write out those game plans for the month, February, March, April, so on and so forth. Further, every Sunday, sit down and write out your weekly game plan. So what can I do this week? What should I do? What must I do this week to accomplish the goals I set for myself for the month? So every Sunday, really, we should be reviewing our annual goals, staying fresh on what those annual goals are. Okay, got it. I know what my intentions are. I know what I said I would do. I know what my goals are. Now let me look at the plans for the month and see what I said I would get done this month. And now this week, week 1, week 2, week 3 of the month, how am I going to take steps forward to make sure I'm accomplishing those goals? So at the beginning of every month, you're sitting down to plan the month, and at the beginning of every week, Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, you're sitting down to review annual, monthly goals, and now you're setting your weekly goals. So at the end of the day, if you can do that, you will have a successful and productive year. Period. Dot. End of story. The last piece I would pitch is just to say, two things. One is if you fall behind, if you get off track, that's okay. It happens, and we're planning for it. So at the end of the day, if you fall behind, no sweat, start again. Get back on the horse, do whatever you need to do to get back on the horse. And none of this is ever a lost cause. Get back on the horse. Just because you missed such and such timeline, whatever it is, you're still in the game. So give yourself a break and just jump back on the horse. At the end of the day, the best thing to do is to stay on timeline. The second best thing to do is, if you've fallen off timeline, get back on today. No more waiting. Get it done today. Finally, celebrate the wins when you get them. A lot of this stuff it's hard. There's a lot going on in life, and making plans and sticking to them and then achieving those goals is a really freaking hard thing to do. And so when you do achieve one of those goals, kick back, man. Go on a date. Go do whatever it is you need to do. Take a long bath, whatever your thing is. Give yourself that ability to celebrate the win. And at the end of the day, they're few and far between. So celebrating is important. So that's it. If you have questions or gripes or whatever it may be, please drop us a line. This is something that we've been doing for years and years and years. I've never put anything like this out. It would mean a lot to me if you got back and told me what's working for you, what's not. If you have any questions about like, hey man, I really wasn't sure about what you meant with this, with X, Y, or Z, please advise. That way I can, maybe clean up my communication or help you out one way or the other. I would love to help you out. This is something I'm very passionate about, and I'm hoping that we can make some good things happen. So thanks very much. Again, we really appreciate you sticking around. You can find us at verblabs.com, VRB, Victor Romeo Bravo Labs.com. Reach out. We'd love to hear you. All right. Have a great year.